Let me hear you say ba 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 da ba 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 da ba 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 da ba 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 da ba 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 da ba 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 da ba 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 da. Crazy at this thing called love, just what I've been dreaming of. And I can never figure out, oh, how you do the things you do. Is why I'm so in love with you. I like the way you make me smile. Boy, you give me butterflies. And when I look into your eyes, I'll see the future in me and you. That's why I wrote this song for you. I-L-O-V-E-Y-O-U. I-L-O-V-E-Y-O-U. Just want you to know what I think of you. L-O-V-E-Y-O-U. Baby, you've got what it takes to make your girl say L-O-V-E-Y-O-U. If I met you in another life and you asked me to be your wife, with grace and a smile I say, yeah, always now and forever. You be my one and only lover. Cause I like the way you make me smile. Boy, you give me butterflies. And when I look into your eyes, I'll see the future in me and you. That's why I wrote this song for you. I-L-O-V-E-Y-O-U. I-L-O-V-E-Y-O-U. Just want you to know what I think of you. L-O-V-E-Y-O-U. Baby, you've got what it takes to make your girl say L-O-V-E-Y-O-U. Ba 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 da ba 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 da ba 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 da ba 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 da ba 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 da ba 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 da ba ba.
Good morning and welcome to Attorney Commander Glapohkpa Chesson talk show. Today is Wednesday, March the 3rd, 2023. What has this day got in store for us? I always ask that question because every day is a new day and every day comes with its own issues and concerns. So let's go to Liberia and talk with my correspondent in Liberia, Mr. Samuel Woodcock. Sam, what's up? How you doing, Sam? 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 Hello? What's up? That's Mr. Sam Wilkins not ready to talk to us right now. Let me get rid of him. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of things going on in Liberia right now. As Mr. Wicker would tell you when he comes on, when he finally makes up his mind to talk to us, situation involving the voter registration, situation involving the LOFA representatives and all these issues going on there, issues with Bill Twiway, in Riverside County, Grand Bassa, in that other area. That's the same Bassa County, but after they spread it out, Liberia, we had 9 counties before. Now we got about 15 counties. So that means our counties were split up. But let me see if Mr. Wicker can get on. He's still having difficulty, but he keep walking. And you cannot be walking and having this conversation with me. Hello?
Yeah, the network so poor here today, man.
Yeah,
I'm somewhere around the commercial hub. Yeah, I'm somewhere around the. Yeah, I was trying to find a suitable place. The network is dropping.
Yeah, but
so I've come this far in the neighborhood to sit quietly.
Listen to me. Next
the weather is bad in Liberia.
You can hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Sam?
Yeah, I hear you clear.
If you hear me clear, why you not?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay. Next time you find a place.
Yes.
Listen to me now. Sam. Next time you find a place before you come on, okay?
I'm hearing you.
Okay. No, you're not hearing me. Okay, what's happening in Liberia?
Yeah, I hear you.
What's happening?
Yeah. So I came late with the traffic. You getting me? Am I clear? Oh, go.
Yeah, you delayed, but you clear.
The network now. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
We can hear you talk.
The network. I mean, yeah. Yeah, you hearing me?
Yes. Talk.
Yeah. Okay. News from Lofa County. Thomas Fowler, according to Glapohkpa Chesson of Lofa County, he accused Thomas Fowler of, influencing, the slope or pace of the process, the voter registration process. He's apparently he might spend money where the Unity Party has large votes or large supporters, to bring down the machines. So almost all the machines in that area that Unity Party is controlling is not functioning. They're all faulty. Only those areas that are being controlled by Thomas Fowler in the Foya district are the ones that are operational. So then Glapohkpa Chesson has threatened to mobilize forces to disrupt the process in Lofa County.
Wow.
So that's the news from Lofa this morning.
Now, what else you got for me?
Ron?
Yes. Continue.
Yeah, that's the news from Lofa this morning. So
what about the news?
Yeah, we we are afraid because if anything spark out there, Guinea is not from Riverside County, man.
Yes.
Citizens are accusing Bill Tuawe, the former MD of the National Port Authority, the managing director of NPA. They sanctioned Bill Tuawe. He was sanctioned by U.S. government for corruption. He was accused by citizens that he's carrying on ritual, they say killing. And, in that part of Liberia, and there's a guy who said his wife was killed, and another guy said his brother too was killed in a river. So all fingers being pointed at Bill Tuawe.
I remember when you interviewed.
Then the third one here is Abachi, Senate Pro Tem. Yeah, give it about husband, yeah?
Yeah, I remember when you interviewed him and they offered him the job at the NPA.
At the free port, yeah.
But for $3,000 money, he said he couldn't work there because Bill
and he refused it.
Was a killer.
The killer.
Yeah,
So now
and
it
that
comes
is,
down to Bill Torrey. His own people accusing him of killing, of people in Rosa
yes,
just to, win his vote. Because these kind of racial power people believe that it's so powerful they can turn people here around to vote for you.
yeah. And those are the same people who are sanctioned by the U.S. And all these guys want to be senators. What government is going to be like?
By the US.
Yes, he's sanctioned by the U.S. Bill Tuare, Nathaniel McGill, and
It
all
will
of
be a
them
big
running.
mess. You
Yes,
take corrupt official to enter your system, it's gonna be a big mess.
and now when they're corrupt, they are murderers.
Yeah. But the city Senate pro tem, Albert, he accused the US ambassador. They all are murderers. They all are thieves. See the Senate pro tem Abachia accusing the US ambassador of taking side. He's supporting opposition. So if you're doing wrong, so the man should not announce, he shouldn't tell the world that you are doing wrong. So then he's an opposition supporter.
And let me see
So they
where,
all are thieves. They
and
all
that
are
is,
killers. They support these things just to perpetuate themselves in power. You know that's African politics.
yeah, I mean, all these guys, and he's saying all
You
of
know,
this.
the African men voodoo, they believe that these things work in their favor. Voodoo.
Yeah, and
You got
he's
black
saying,
magic, right?
yeah, they're seeing all of these things because the U.S. has called them right-handed. All of us know this truth.
Yeah.
Nothing that man said is a lie. Everything is the truth. You know, we have been complaining about them stealing the
But
money.
all he said was true.
Yes,
Go up country. They poor so poor. They poor, the people so poor.
and we have been complaining about them stealing the money for so long.
Yeah. The countryside is very poor. If you leave Monrovia and enter other parts of the country, you feel sorry for this country. The people so poor, the people are suffering. Yeah, and they're just stealing. You see, some children are going to school barefooted. Can you imagine that?
Yeah,
People still sit on blocks.
it's
Uh,
still,
and the Monrovia cannot cope with everybody because almost everybody has left the interior to come Monrovia to see greener pasture. But things are difficult.
it's so sad, Sam, that as a people in a nation, we gotta face all these kind of
It's very,
negative.
very sad and sick.
Yes. So what else happening? What else you got for me before you leave?
Yeah, man, these things.
It's the minister.
Well,
It's
people
the
are
minister.
wondering what happened with
Go ahead.
Postal Affairs Kubakura. He was
Uh,
sacked. He was sacked.
yeah,
Kubakura was sacked.
we saw that, but
He had planned to resign this week.
what about this man?
What we learned
Samuel
that he
Tuer?
went to the minister. See that?
Yeah, we know about Cry.
Who's
He
that?
got Cry got dismissed, and another
I mean,
Nima,
Kubakura resigned.
yeah, he resigned, and another man was put there for Nima.
Okay.
But what's happening with the Minister of Finance?
Yeah, from Nima. Yeah, from Nima. Dona.
Yes,
Wally say Doma. Yeah, he's from Nima. He's replacing, Okra. So actually, it meant that it was just a witch hunt because he saw Okra at the program, and that means Okra is not supporting him. Okra is an undercover agent, so you gotta bring somebody closer. Like it's a partisan,
I dealt with.
and say Dona is a partisan of CDC.
Yeah, I did that. I dealt with that yesterday. I don't want to spend much time on it. But what about Samuel Tuer? What happened to our minister?
Yeah.
What happened to our minister? Is he in Liberia?
But what I learned was saying in Cote d'Ivoire.
Oh yeah.
What I learned was saying in Cote d'Ivoire. In Cote d'Ivoire, what he's saying is he's still lobbying for money. And maybe from African Development Bank or some banking institution there. Where they not attend the retreat only simply because the government don't have money. the president called him for money, and he said, "You know how money could not come." So he told the president plain blank, "If you're gonna dismiss me. I'm not coming. The government does not have money to support retreat." So since then, 12 have not come to Liberia.
Where
So
is
we don't
our
know what really
finance
happening.
minister? Where is our finance minister? The
Yeah.
finance minister
So
disappeared.
so they had to lobby. They had to beg and rally Lebanese guys just to have that retreat. Can you imagine your disgrace? And the retreat,
So
they had to beat students to leave their classes to come and welcome president.
that
Buchanan
was,
never went give or where.
so that was the reason why the baby never came
Yeah,
to
they had to post students. Oh, just go and welcome the president.
yeah, but they told us the
Yeah,
bank was closed,
they
they
paid
couldn't get
Lebanese
money.
for money to continue the retreat. There was no money.
Yeah,
To
ladies and
him,
gentlemen,
please
I'm so
bring no
sorry the
money.
transmission is slow because of the weather condition.
But two is looking for money for the election. Next year, want some good money. $10+ million. They are not giving to the neck.
And Sam, there's this woman in Liberia too right now from the
Yeah, the weather is so bad here.
there's this
Sorry
woman
for any breaking. Sorry for any.
coming.
But the
Yeah,
weather is so bad.
I know we having this. Let me find this lady. Yeah, she should be here on my thing. I can't. Hold on 1 minute. I'm trying to find this lady from the. Here it is. I forgot to put it up. This lady from the United Nations, the ambassador, the Swedish ambassador. Oh, they came out twice. The Swedish ambassador is saying that they need $25.5 million for the election. There's a shortfall. Do you know about that? Sam? Do you know about the Swedish ambassador to the UN?
I'm not getting that. Oh, the breaking is bad.
Okay, well then let's call it quits. I will talk to you tomorrow.
I'm not
Okay?
getting it at all.
Okay, I will talk to you tomorrow. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
I'm not getting it at all.
Okay. Bye-bye. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the transmission from Liberia is terrible this morning. As you can see behind, the weather condition is very terrible. So there's a delay in our transmission. He still want to come on, but there's a delay in our transmission. And every time I'm talking, he doesn't get it on there after a few seconds. So the situation in our country right now, the Swedish ambassador to the United Nations, who is also the woman responsible for the United Nations concern of Liberia for the reconfiguration and the peace building efforts that go on in Liberia. She's responsible for it. And now she's in Liberia telling us that we have a shortage in the money for the election in October. And this is no small amount. We thought it was $18 million. Now we see the woman is saying it's $25.5 million. What is this funding gap? And this is why our Minister of Finance cannot come home. Because all these issues are facing the nation right now. And the president is still asking for money to spend, to travel, and do all these things he wants to do when the country has no money. George Weah in the news right now, he's in the Great Britain. He left to go there for King Charles's coronation. Our country ain't got no money. He jumped overnight, say he won't have retreat. He needed $200,000 to do that. That's where he and 12 fell out. Because 12 know he's going to be held responsible for all of this. He's the finance minister. And if there's no money in the country, he cannot just be giving up money and borrowing money from traders in the country. I mean, this is how low down our government has come. For the president to get money for his own retreat, his personal retreat, he goes and borrows $200,000 from the Lebanese traders and the businessmen in Liberia because the government has no money. Then they tell us he had to do that because all the banking institutions are closed, which is a damn lie. We come to find out the truth is he and the finance minister are at odds. Why? Because Twer knows he's a smart man. They brought this man to power. Read this book here. Read this book, George Weah. That was Samuel Twer, all of them that ran behind Weah to be president of Liberia. When Weah wasn't thinking about this thing. They started pumping it in his ears. Then Samuel Twer and some of them met with him. And that's how they started getting the ball rolling. And now Samuel Twer, he knows he's in the middle of all this corruption, all this murder, all this stealing. He's involved with it. And he's smarter than George Weah. He's smarter. So he knows that if we can't pay the people, we can't have election, there's a serious issue in our country. Weah is so dumb, it doesn't matter to him. Weah doesn't see this as a concern. To him, everything is okay. He's a booga man. He's a party man. Everything will work itself out. Don't worry, he will talk it through. When there is no money, you cannot talk it through. You cannot lie to the Liberian people. You cannot deceive us. If there's a $25.5 million shortfall in the money for the election, how do you get it back? Now we're hearing that Sam Twer cannot come to Liberia because he's in the Ivory Coast there trying to lobby money to pay the people in Liberia, the workers. People haven't gotten paid for months. All these people are disgracing our nation, man. They're having election in Lofa County. The same Tamafala who are in Masurado County went up to Lofa County, now he won't be representative or senator of the way, whatever he wants to be. And he violating all the laws, disrupting the voter registration process. Is this any assurance that there's going to be peace in our country? Is there any assurance? All these negative issues that are coming up, especially with the money, man. The money is the problem. How we have a leadership of our nation, the people don't even understand the significance of the sufferings of the Liberian people. They don't even understand it. Why would you, and the retreat, how long the retreat lasted? One day? How you go have a retreat? Put the people renting a hotel, they had to put people out of the hotel for the president because there was no planning. He just spontaneously, sporadically, just got up and said, we're going to Buchanan. Farm money. This is how our people are suffering. It's not fair to the Liberian people, man. It's not fair. Now Twer is running away. You can't run Twer. Y'all put this man in power. Y'all give this man the power. The same thing, we warned you. We warned you. Because these same issues were the issues that brought Simon Doe down. These issues were the same issues. Liberia, we are exactly repeating ourselves. It looked like the only reason we want to into war was to just kill each other for fun. That whole war was about. Just to murder people. Look at Prince Joseph today. The greatest murderer survived. Now he's a lawmaker. He's a kingmaker. We have no law in our country. Now, you see, just this is the typical example. There's no law. Because after you finish killing the people now, we come back to some semblance of civility, of peace. Then we end up repeating the same thing for some time. And look at, we just took a reprieve, a little break, and went to war. So let's kill each other, let's eliminate some of the population because we're too plenty. Then we'll come back and solve this thing. So we go to war, we kill our people. Then we come back, we appoint the same warlords and criminals. First of all, that wasn't even it. The same woman that started the war, we made her president. The same woman that sponsored this whole war, we made her president. You see, and that what hurting me about my country. Because all of this I know it, they're not they say, they're not somebody come in and tell me something. I know this for the fact that Ellen Johnson started the war. And you know the deceitfulness permeates throughout our country, man. And we're fighting for peace and war, for peace from war. And we're going to the same criminals that started the war to bring peace. How can that ever help us, my people? We gotta be insane. We gotta be insane. People don't come to my show because I'm the only one talking sensible shit. We got to be insane. The very people that kill our country, that kill our people, that destroy everything we got, we go into the same people to come and find leaders for us in our nation. Hey, my people, is that not insanity? I got nothing against Boca. I'm not talking against Boca. I got nothing against Cummings. I'm not talking about against Cummings. My message is to the Liberian people. I got nothing to do with politicians. I given up on them a long time ago. I given up on all the leaders of my country a long time ago. Corruption permeates to the core of my country. Nobody is exempt. Nobody is exempt. If anybody was exempt from Liberia corruption, they would have left Liberia as I did. That's what I do. If you don't want me, I leave. Ask anybody who knows Rodney Chesson. You put a false charge on me, I resign. Because if I didn't do it, I would not take the position with something hanging over my head. I came too far and too hard in life to submit to shenanigans and bullshit. You see, that was the difference with me and other people. People don't understand Rodney Chesson. Some people say I'm crazy. Yeah, I might be crazy. But I believe in what myself and my God, man. I believe in myself and my God. That's what differentiates me from other Liberian people. If the shit not working, if I cannot help change it, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I will look at it from afar and tell you, but I will not participate in the corruption. I will not let other people accuse me of things I didn't do. That's not Rodney Chesson. I prefer to suffer. Because I got one God, man. I got one God and I understand what my God means to me. I got one God. And no man will fuck with me. Let me say the French word. No man will fuck with me. And it will get away with it. No. I will leave it with God. I will suffer. But justice will be done. Justice will be done. But I will not submit myself to evil for money, to participate with evil people, to commit evil against the Liberian people or any people of the world for money. I can't do that. That's not my portion. It's not my portion, man. You know, I'm a nation builder. I look at mistakes and say, man, we can fix that if y'all want to fix it. So my message is not to the Liberian leaders. I know all the people. They know me. None of them can call me. Boga called me because I gave him my number. I asked him to call me, but they will not call me because I don't stand on the same foundation they are standing on. I'm not a man who mince with my words. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. I got one life to live, man. I ain't gonna live like a damn coward. I'm not corrupt. And I will stand by the points and principles that I'm not corrupt. But look at my country, man. All the people in my country are corrupt. All of them are serving government or being associated with families, nepotism, and every shit, man. And look at my country today, man. Benin, you are my own boy, man. And I told him, I said, Benin, you screwed my country up, man. You and Charles Taylor messed our country up. Because you came with this Tottenham philosophy. And I told you it's now going to work. All of us used to sit there and talk about that shit on continent, how we take over the country and we rule and do that. And since I've been abroad, man, I've been in the army, I broadened my horizon. And I know it's not good when we tell our people we're standing for something and we do something else. It's not good. It destroys our nation, maybe not at that moment in time, but eventually our nation will be destroyed. And if we care about our nation and our people and our families and we love them, it behooves us to do the right things. We always have the rogues among us. We always have the corrupt among us. We always have the criminals among us. We always have the evil among us. But good always prevails. Because good people do not remain silent when we see wrongdoing. We nip it in the bud. And that's what builds a society. You know, so my message is not to Uri or Boca or Cummings or Gongolo or Nombly or young Darius Dillon. My message is not to them. My message is to you, the Liberian people. We are the shareholders of our country. Our country is a business. That's why we elect president and our government, so that they handle the affairs of our business. That our country does not go bankrupt. That the resources of our country are not improperly distributed. That people who come to serve us do not see it as a position to enrich themselves unjustly. And this is what we stand for, man. Our leaders, yeah, they're important to us because we elect them to represent us. But we are the foundation of everything in Liberia. We the people. That's why the Constitution starts off with. We the people. In order to form a more perfect union. That means our union is not perfect. That means in our union, we got rogues, we got murderers, we got cutthroats, we got all these wicked people. But with the reason why we come together to put our constitution together is because we, the people, the majority, who believe in God and our own abilities, have come together to form a more perfect union, a more. Because everything we do to take a step closer to perfection is a more perfect union if we do it together and collectively. So we got to understand our own philosophies. And if we don't understand it, we'll just be losers, man. Our leaders, we hire them to do our job. That's why we vote. Our whole country is a corporation. It's just that the only difference between our country and real business is real business shareholders they can stay there for a lifetime. They are like kings. If the shareholder is bringing money, because the whole purpose of the corporation is to succeed in whatever we're doing, to make profit. That's the only time the shareholders can enjoy the company. If the company is not making profit, we can't enjoy the company. We all at a loss. So we got to pump money in there to sustain the company. And this is what happened into our country in Liberia. Our country is operating on a loss. So we as shareholders, we have no dividends. We cannot benefit from our country. So any fear of the sciences you put our country in, we end up with the same results. on the political landscape, our country is a failure. Why? Because our leadership cannot maintain the regime. The regime is falling apart before us. No money. They can't pay people. Foreigners coming and evaluating the system and pointing out the breakdowns in the system. Then on the social scene, where I'm at now, where we are the private sector and all these things, our country has broken down. As a private sector entity, we need to file for bankruptcy. We passed that stage already. Because they will not accept our bankruptcy now. They said, no, you're too bad, old man. We can't get, you're just sell the country. Sell the country. We're not going to help you with bankruptcy. Because what is bankruptcy? Bankruptcy is when you have a running a company and the assets of the company cannot sustain the company running. They cannot pay people. They cannot pay its bills. It cannot keep its operations going on. The company is kaput. So you file bankruptcy. And what the purpose of bankruptcy? So the courts can divide the assets of the company in a just and fair manner. So the court will determine nothing coming back to the shareholders, nothing coming back to the officers, where all the assets of the corporation now, because when we form a corporation, you separate your personal self from the business. Okay? That's why when people mix corporate business with their own business, they call it piercing the corporate veil. Just that the court had to pierce the law with Donald Trump recently, something with his lawyer with a privilege, lawyer-client privilege. The court had to pierce that veil that protects lawyer-client privilege to call the lawyer to testify, because there's a bond between lawyer and client. You know, we have a privilege. Everything I say to my lawyer is in secret. If he goes and talking to anybody while we're in that relationship, he goes to jail, even if he leaves, because we sign document. You can't go and disclose my thing to the public. So there's a close relationship, a lawyer-client relationship, and the court cannot force a lawyer to testify against his client. But in a criminal matter, where the client has involved the lawyer, this is one of the first cases I've seen that where the court will pierce the veil that protects the lawyer-client relationship to go to the lawyer and say, man, you got to come testify against your client. Why? Because the client tried to mislead the lawyer and involve it into corrupt practices. So it's the same thing with a corporation. When the directors, George Reardon, who are directors, they have a duty of care. What is a duty of care? That means they will do everything to preserve Liberia for us. We are the shareholders. We're hiring them to do this. So whatever they do, they have a duty of care, and that's one of the things they always jam the corporate directors on. Duty of care. Your investment, did you do due diligence? When you give this money out, when you invested in this project, did you consider all the ramifications? The land issue is a swamp. It's his natural land for us to build on. Or if you don't do your due diligence, because if the land is swampland, you should know because it has a historical link to it. People in the past know that that land was a swampland 20 years ago. It may dry now and look normal now, but in the 20 years ago, it was considered swampland. So if you know you buy that land, there's a possibility this swamp will seep back into that, and your land will be, your building, everything will be useless. So that's due diligence. That's why we have inspectors, building inspectors and land inspectors and all these things. So we know the historical link, the financial, economic link, everything kind of social link to the land. So that's the part of duty of care of the director. When you're going to do something for the shareholders, in the shareholders' interest, you make sure you do due diligence, check everything. But if you don't do it, and you just take our money and use it, then it becomes the duty of care. Where did you fail? You didn't steal the money. No, maybe you didn't steal the money. No. We can't charge you with corruption or larceny or all that. No, but we want to know you had a duty of care to take care of the corporation, to preserve it, to promote it, to make it excel. Where did you fail? So they begin to look into that. And if they find out for any reason you did it for money, or you had the corporation money linked in your private business or some kind of way, the court can pierce the corporate veil and come after your personal property. So that's what they call piercing the corporate veil. So the same thing happened in Liberia. We, the people, are the shareholders of our country. If George Weah then mess up, we have the right to go after them. To go after them. And then where they claim executive privilege and all of it. Let's follow American law. Because right now, that's what's happening in America. They are piercing the political veil. They are going after people that are claiming executive protection. And the courts are saying, no, you can't claim that. You can't use that to hide from your personal corruption and evil. You do evil and you do wrong, then you come here, I'll protect that. No, this is not Liberia. This is America. We're coming after you. We'll pierce every veil. So that the same thing they're doing. They're going after all these guys, man. But for that to happen, the shareholders got to know their responsibilities themselves. Because what makes us shareholders of our country, all of us came together to invest in this one country. We are investors. The crew, the Crown, the Congo, the Basso, the Begio, the Mano, all of us came together to invest in this one country, and that's why we wrote the Constitution. Whether you knew it or not, whether you were there or not, you are a part of it. Because your representatives from all over the country came and accepted this thing. And when they gave it to us, we voted on it. And that's what makes the Constitution so significant to us as shareholders of Liberia. Because the Constitution is the only thing that links us to the land. That's the only thing that links all of us collectively to the land that called Liberia. Is the Constitution. Without that Constitution, there can be no Liberia. That's why we call it the organic law of the land, because it is through the Constitution that every tribal group, every individual, every ethnic group of our country are linked together as Liberia, Republic of Liberia. We, the people, we come together to form a more perfect union called Liberia. So once we voted on that, our legislators went and wrote it because we gave them that authority to go and write it. And after they wrote it, they couldn't pass it with us because that's the only law of the land that everybody got to sign. How do we sign it? We vote on it. Voting is your signature. You know, you don't have to go there and take the pen and sign it. You see that we say your vote is your voice. Your vote is many things. It's your signature, it's your voice, it's your acquiescence, it's your love, it's your feeling. Your vote is everything. Because through your vote, you are telling us through our collective capacity that we are still one. That majority rules. That we can all have different ideas, but when we come together, the people who are more with the one idea lead, and the rest of submit. That's the whole process of democracy. Because there will always be division. There will always be diversity. And even if one man win the vote, you see that the part of democracy that hurts. It can be 50-50, then one person cross and make it 51-50. You got to follow that 51. Whether you have the same ideas and things, and one idea not better than the other idea, and you don't give a damn about the other person's idea and all of that, once you vote on it in our system of democracy, and one person leads and wins by one vote, we all got to submit. Whether we like it or not. Those are the shortfalls democracy. Those are the things that say, oh, man, this damn democracy, these people are the failure, they just beat us with one vote. Hey, that's the way we vote on it. We voted on it. We accepted our constitution. And wherever our constitution says we must live by a why, because it is blessed. For us who believe in God, when we vote on our constitution and we accept it, our constitution becomes divine. Man alone does not handle that constitution. It's God blessed. That's why our constitution is so important to us. Every country, they follow the constitution if they really want to develop, if they want to grow. Because the constitution, you don't play with it. That's why even the Supreme Court has discretionary rights sometimes. Certain cases they can accept, certain cases they can say, we're not accepting. We don't want to hear it. Take it to the lower court. Okay? The Constitution gave them that authority. But whenever you file a case and the word Constitution is mentioned in it, and it goes to the Supreme Court, it's mandatory that they hear that case. It's mandatory that they hear that case, especially if it's genuine constitutional issue. You're not raising some issue frivolous, because they will look at the issue. You file an issue with the court, bring me a constitutional issue, the court will look at it. Just like Yomli Kaga in a case. In that case that went to the bench evaluated the case, didn't deal with a constitutional issue. The judge on the single bench didn't deal with the constitutional issue. He dealt with all the ramifications, the other issues, who should be president, who should represent the company, who should do it. He touched on it, but he didn't touch on the constitutional issue that was being raised, because he felt that that issue is not significant for the NEC, the National Election Commission. So he sent the case back, because to him, he had dealt with all the other issues because he reviewed the case. And I think he started with Nomri Kangadem with their constitution. But it wasn't a constitutional issue. It was to find out who was the administrator of the organization, Musa Ability or Nomri Kanga. The Musa Ability have the authority from the first convention or the second convention. That's the issue they were talking about, convention. The judge did not want to touch the constitutional issue. He didn't want to touch it because the constitutional issue was the underlying issue of this case the whole while. So instead of touching it, he dealt like the NEC chief. They just cosmetically dealt with the case, look at who's the administrator, and he didn't want to touch himself. He sent it back to the hearing officer. He said, handle it on these lines and make your decision. So he sent it back to them. And when they got there, that one Musa Belis said, no. You can't side with Nomli Kangadem on this issue and send it back and say, oh, she the chairman, so they got to decide whether the person who submitted the document was the right person or not. Musa Belis said, no, you can't do that, because all the thing is a constitutional issue. It rests on the Constitution, because we are arguing who has the authority to represent the organization to submit this document. Who's the administrative chief? And they were trying to say, he's the administrative chief, but he doesn't have the authority to present the document by himself to the NEC. They gotta have a committee senate and introduce him and all of that. You see? And Musa Bereti was saying, no, you can't do that. Because if you do that, then you alter the Constitution. You put in things in the Constitution that's not there. That's why he went to the Supreme Court. When the Supreme Court got it now, the Supreme Court looked at the issues, and that's when they decided certain issues had to rest. that organization did not have the authority to deal with the constitutional issue that is the crux of this whole case. That's the crux. Which constitution do we use? Which convention gives Billete the authority to rule, to do the things he did? Is Billete the chief executive officer of Liberty Party? And the court had to decide. So what the court did, it didn't decide on the other issues that had already been decided on, that had been touched on, that didn't involve the constitutional issues. You see, they only dealt on who was the administrator. Musa Billete had the right to file this document for the organization as its chief executive officer. And the court decided yes. Yes. That was the underlying constitutional issue. So now when he left the court and the court sent it back, they just sent it back for the man to decide that what the court said. But the case was closed. Because the underlying issue, the constitutional issue, and they could not resolve it without dealing with the Constitution. And that was Musa Billete was pissed off about, because when he went back, he sent it back, he said, Nomri Kanga is the head, they should go on with the case. And Musa Billete said, you can't go on with the case, because if Nomri Kanga is the head, and she can change everything the organization got to do, what gives her that authority? Under what body of agreement between us that gives normally the authority to do things that the chief executive officer is appointed to do? So that was the conflict right there. So no matter how they shook that case, once that constitution, I told you, I said, anytime there's a case and the name Constitution is raised, you got to stop the case. You got to stop the case. Because if a party is raising a constitutional issue and the body that the suit is under does not have the jurisdiction to deal with constitutional issue, that case cannot go forward. That issue has to be resolved. That's why they took the rate of certiorari to review. Because there was no way the case could go forward if there's a constitutional issue. Because if there's a constitutional issue, it becomes the crux of the case, the foundation of the case. Nobody will raise a constitutional issue if they understand the ramifications of raising that issue. Okay? Because to raise a constitutional issue, there must be a leadership problem. That was in the same thing. There was a leadership problem. Because only the Constitution can resolve the leadership problem. And that was normally Kanga then were trying to avoid pointing out which constitution to use. That was they kept saying, the formative constitution. Oh no, the 1970s, they didn't know which constitution to use. You see, that was the court had to intervene them, and now I tell them, no. Let's look at the structure of your organization. Let's look at your voting process. All of them will tell us which constitution to use. And that was after looking at all of that, the court chose the constitution that made Musa Billete chief executive officer. Because his functions got to relate to the constitution. If there's a constitution that gives him the authority to be chief executive officer, and it's a more recent constitution, you got to go by that, because we know the functions of a chief administrator. A chief administrator handles every administrative aspect of the organization. And certain aspect of the organization does not have to go to the board, because when the constitution is approved, when it has to do with filing, the board already has decided. Why does he have to go back to the board to get approval to file the thing when they have already agreed on the constitution? They have already made notification and people have signed the constitution and given it to him. Why you got to go back to them? to introduce him to the. No, he doesn't have to do that. That's not a club. The NEC knows that every political organization got to elect new officers. So when you write on the company head and say, I'm introducing myself, I'm the new chairman, and this is the process, and you get another witness with you who's an officer, you don't need a committee. You really don't. So the court sided with them on that constitutional issue. And my hour is up. But all of this, let me reiterate all of this. All I'm saying to the Liberian people here is, our country is like a business. We are the shareholders. All the things that are going on in our country, we have the power to stop it. We have the power to stop it. But if we continue to submit our inherent power to warlords and economic rogues, people we know who have destroyed our country and brought us to where it is, then we go back and give the same people the authority to lead our country. That's insanity. That's insanity. Nobody has ever said that word. They always say we can't do the same thing, we can't do it. No, I tell you, that is damn insanity. When the same people who have killed you and destroyed your nation and robbed you, then you go vote for them again, the very same people. Don't you think we need new blood in our country? Don't you think we need new spirit in our country? But we'll sit and see. Can Glapohkpa bring that? Because Glapohkpa has the ability to do that. No matter how old he is, he can bring young people in who are vetted for honesty and trustworthiness. Everybody got records. So you follow the people's records. And you bring good people in, young people in. So when you die, we have a young, strong government to sustain our country and carry it forward. Glapohkpa can do that. But is he able to do that? Look at all the situation that with the CPP, Glapohkpa kept quiet. Glapohkpa didn't say a word. Is that the same attitude he's going to bring to the government of Liberia? People doing all kind of things, he will not say nothing. He will just keep quiet. You can't do that. I don't care about the sleeping part. Anybody can close their eye and act like they're sleeping. But my job is the implementation part. Are they capable of changing Liberia? The time of the people is now. And to the commander, Glapohkpa Chesson class is done. Aluta. Continua. The struggle. Continue. Have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow, my people. Don't do what I wouldn't want you to do. Take care of yourself. Let me find my closing thing.